This is the issue, and I am the ghetto man. Today's issue is, or should I say, today's question is, if government doesn't have to obey the law, why should anyone else? Don't go away. We'll be right back. It seems like everywhere we look these days, we find another public servant just violating their oath of office and engaging in some sort of unlawful or rebellious activity, don't we? Clear criminal constitutional violations of both state and federal law, and for the most part, because of other criminals within the system, these criminals are never prosecuted for their crimes. And they are, for all intent and purpose, above the law. Which brings us to today's issue, or should I say, today's question. And that question is, if government doesn't have to obey the law, why should anyone else? Well, just recently in California, the state's Senate Rules Committee appointed an illegal alien, a foreign national, someone who is not a citizen and isn't legally in the country, a Mexican attorney named Elizabeth Mateo, 33 years old, to head the California Student Opportunity and Access Program Project Grant Advisory Committee. Now that's a mouthful. California is in violation of the United States immigration laws, and California knows that. But they hired her anyway. Now, is California above the law? And is this illegal alien, this foreign national, Elizabeth Mateo, is she above the law? Now, in New York City, just recently, Governor Cuomo, he took part in an anti-gun die-in in New York. Now, this man took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of his state. And that oath includes the Bill of Rights, which includes the Second Amendment. His very participation in this anti-gun die-in is in violation of his oath of office. And to add insult to injury, what does he do? He surrounds himself with armed security. Now, the Second Amendment was written so that we can protect ourselves from people just like this. Is Cuomo above the law? I think he's a traitor. I just reading an article I think it was yesterday. Illegal alien students rally for access to financial aid. Now, instead of being arrested for their criminal acts against the United States, these illegal aliens make demands of U.S. taxpayers, you and me. They're making demands of us. They want us to just give up their money to people who the very first thing that they do when they enter this country is break the law. They enter our country unlawfully, and then they demand that you and I pay for their housing, food, medical, recreation, and education, of course. And then I ask the question, are these illegal aliens above the law? Now, just recently we saw the schools having these protests against the Second Amendment. And, the left utilizes children all the time to falsely blame the NRA in an attempt to circumvent the Second Amendment. Now, these schools are funded by public taxpayers' money. It's your money. And they're using your money, my money, for what purpose? Not to teach the children about reading, writing, and arithmetic, and American history, the intent of the founders, the Bill of Rights, what form of government that we have. No, 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 no. They're not there teaching that. They're promoting the overthrow of the United States Constitution and teaching our children how to commit insurrection, rebellion, and treason against the Republic. This is what your tax money is supporting. The overthrow of the Union. Our public school system, which, by the way, is the 10th plank of the Communist Manifesto, is preparing our children to carry out the globalist agenda to not only destroy the Second Amendment, but the Bill of Rights and our Republican form of government as well. Now I ask the question, are these teachers above the law? How about sanctuary cities? They should be called fugitive cities. Millions of illegal aliens invading our countries, disease, drugs, murder, rape, robberies, tax and welfare fraud, and who knows what else. All sanctioned illegally by criminals working within our government. Are these cities and our public servants, are they above the law? Now, we have a mayor in Oakland, California, who openly and notoriously violated U.S. immigration law by tipping off criminal illegal aliens so as to help them, the illegals, the fugitives, to avoid their lawful arrest by ICE agents. And the mayor, she says that she doesn't regret tipping off the immigrants ahead of the ICE raids. You know, what she's really saying is that she doesn't regret violating her oath of office and breaking federal and immigration law, and doesn't care if her action causes anyone any harm. What she did was she broke the law. She was aiding and abetting criminal fugitives from justice. Now, it's interesting to note that as a result of this mayor's unlawful actions, a teenager has been killed by an illegal immigrant. Well, I back up. I'm not going to use that word immigrant. A teen has been killed by an illegal alien, a foreign national. The father of the teen is calling out the mayor of Oakland for her illegal actions. She has blood all over her hands. Her violation of law cost this man his son's life. But it doesn't matter to her. It doesn't matter to her if someone has died. It doesn't matter how many people hurt as a result of her unlawful actions. I mean, not only is that criminal, but it's selfish. I mean, she thinks that she's a dictator. Is this mayor, this Oakland mayor, is she above the law? Now, according to the 7th Circuit judge, his name is Richard Posner, what he says is that U.S. judges should stop studying the Constitution. This is a federal judge, a circuit court judge, who took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, is only supposed to apply the law to the Constitution, and if it doesn't fit, out it goes. Now, I'm quoting the man, okay? I'm quoting the man. He says, and this is a circuit judge, I see absolutely no value to a judge of spending decades, years, months, weeks, days, hours, or minutes, or seconds studying the Constitution, the history of its enactment, its amendments, and its implementation. Is this judge above the law? Are all the judges above the law? This judge, his oath of office means nothing to him. The rule of law means nothing to this judge. He's a traitor. How many other judges are out there that think the same way as this judge does? Comey. We all remember Comey, right? Sat there in front of the world on C-SPAN, in front of Congress, an endless list of crimes that would land anyone else in prison. An endless list of crimes against Hillary Clinton. No prosecution. Is Comey above the law? Is Hillary Clinton above the law? And then Comey has the gall to tell we serfs, don't you dare try this at home. In your face lawlessness, in your face treason, in your face anarchy. No law to these people. Do whatever they want. Now, we were warned about this type of government lawlessness by a justice named Brandis. You can find this warning in his dissenting opinion in a case called Olmstead versus the United States. It can be found in Book 277 of the United States Supreme Court Reports on page 438. It's a 1928 case. In this case, Olmstead versus the United States, the court, in a 5-4 decision, allowed illegal government wiretapping of U.S. citizens that exceeded the constitutional mandates of the Fourth and the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution. Now, Justice Brandis addresses the government and the court's lawlessness in his dissenting opinion. This means that he was one of the 4 justices that didn't agree with the majority of the court. And what's nice about this is that from time to time, when a bad decision like this Olmstead versus U.S., it's very important to pay attention to the dissenting judge's opinions. Because in there are a gold mine of things that a person needs to be able to argue their constitutional position against a bad ruling like this. Well, anyway, I'm not going to read the entire dissenting opinion, but getting down to the crux of it, this is what Justice Brandis said. He said, decency, security, and liberty alike demand that government officials shall be subject to the same rules of conduct that are commands to the citizen. In a government of laws, existence of the government will be imperiled if it fails to observe the law scrupulously. Our government is the potent, the omnipresent teacher. For good or for ill, it teaches the whole of the people by its example. Crime is contagious. If government becomes a lawbreaker, it breeds contempt for the law. It invites every man to become a law unto himself. It invites anarchy. Once again, Olmstead versus U.S., Book 277 of the United States Supreme Court Reports, page 438, and this can be found on page 485. So I asked the question again. If government doesn't have to obey the law, why should anyone else? Can I choose what laws I want to obey and what laws I want to ignore, just like our government servants do? Can I ignore the tax laws? How about stop signs? Can I just run through them? Can I just ignore traffic lights and just not care what color they are or what the colors mean? How about murder? Can I choose to murder someone? Can I choose to rob and vandalize property? Rape. Hey, how about rape? How about pedophilia? If the government doesn't have to obey any laws, why should I? Why should you? I am the Ghetto Man. Thank you for watching. If you're politically correct, then you're legally wrong. And if you're not part of the solution, then you are the problem. Please subscribe to my channel. Please share.